What's going on, guys? Sio here with week 1 of the playoffs of the NES Season 1. Very excited to bring you guys this battle, so if you're hyped, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new. Going into this, if you haven't watched the team builder, by the way, please click down below. But going into this, I predicted his team pretty well this week, I think. I was expecting a roster of Rotom Wash, Excadrill, Hippowdon, Ditto, and some combination of Salamence, Bronzong, Zardwai, or Shaman. I wasn't really expecting the Aromatisse at all, and I would have been pretty surprised if he brought Weezing, because he doesn't really seem to like it that much. Honestly, I'm very prepared for Zardwai and Bronzong, so I'm really happy to see that he brought those two. Going into leads for this match, I realized that Scarf Breloom would be a pretty good lead. Honestly, Scarf to Vaporeon would also be a pretty decent lead, but I don't really want to give that away really quick, or at least right now. So I just decided to go ahead and lead with Breloom, because if he doesn't lead with Ditto here, I can go ahead and either Bullet Seed or Mach Punch something, but like I kind of alluded to, he leads with Ditto. If you watch my team builder, you know that I actually have a good answer to this though, so I just go ahead and switch out into my Dusclops, because I can either Will-O-Wisp something or get a substitute up. But because I know that he knows I'm going to Will-O-Wisp, I actually double here into my Vaporeon. In a normal situation, this would actually be a poor double for me, because this is a Zardwai, if you don't know. And Zardwai gets one turn Solar Beams, which do quite a lot of damage to a Vaporeon. And the first time I battled the AC Milanturn, I just kind of decided to tank this. But I went a little bit more heat if you didn't watch the team builder. I decided to Scarf my Vaporeon to be able to outspeed and hit it with an HP Rock. I wasn't able to get the OHKO, and it's not like it was really a good roll for me to be able to get the OHKO, because I think he would have had to be a minus Pidef nature with no investment to be able for it to one-shot. But the fact that I outspeed means that I obviously threaten this thing out, and even with no investment and being a full attacking Vaporeon, I'm still able to take a Solar Beam in the sun, which is pretty dope, in my opinion. So, Doudsy's a good player, and he knows that he doesn't want to sack his Charizard yet. I know that he knows that he doesn't want to sack his Charizard yet, so I decide to switch back out into my Dusclops to try to get a Will-O-Wisp on something. He goes into his Rotom, and unfortunately gets a Will-O-Wisp on me as I try to substitute. I want to explain this a little bit, but I wanted to kind of have it happen first. I expected him to Volt Switch there and go into Ditto to try to scout my set, or just try to go for a Hydro Pump, predicting me to go out into Nidoking or something like that. Either way, I would have taken very little damage from this and would have been able to get like a free substitute off. He made a good play and just decided to Willow my wall right away. I could have risked it and went into Victini and tried to get some damage off on stuff, but honestly he could have just Hydro Pumped and did quite a lot of damage to me that I was not trying to take. So it sucks that I got burned here, but now I know that he's gonna Volt Switch and just try to go into something. So even though it took quite a lot of HP, I'm able to switch into Nidoking here for free. Now, unfortunately, given the roster that he actually brought, Nidoking, it was by far my least useful member. There's two things on here that are immune to pretty much everything Nidoking wants to do besides Flamethrower. I mean, I guess it's a good thing I brought Flamethrower, but Ice Beam's not going to do very much to Bronzong, Sludge Wave's not going to do anything to Excadrill or Bronzong. Ice Beam's going to do a little bit to Hippowdon, but I don't know. Long story short, there's not really a whole lot I can do with this Nidoking, so I just decided to bring it in and try to get some damage off the Sludge Wave. I figure he's going to stay in and Hydro Pump, and that's okay. He misses, which is even more okay. Ultimately, this miss didn't really matter that much, because I was willing to sack Nidoking here anyway, but because he missed and the sun ran out, I decided to just chance it. If he went for a Hydro Pump there, I would have gotten 25% and been able to do some damage with Scarf. Instead, he just goes into Ben here. there's not really a whole lot I can do to Bronzong here, so I figure that he's just going to try to get his rocks up. He has 3 rockers on his team, actually, now that I noticed that. He has 3 rockers on his team, and 4 if you count a Ditto that gets my Ditto King. So I had to kind of play a guessing game here, but I ultimately decided that Bronzong was probably his rocker, just because he wanted the movesets a little bit differently for his other Pokemon. So I decided to switch into my Victini here before the rocks get up to try to get off some choice banded V-Crate damage, and it's at this point that everything that comes in gets 2-hit KO'd. So I just click the V-Crate button, cause why not? And you would think the Hippowdon would be a resist, and it is technically a resist, but it's not a good enough resist to be able to actually take on Victini. Which is dumb, by the way, because Hippowdon really, like, walls everything else. There's no reason why Victini should do that much damage, but it does. And that's good news for me. So Hippowdon's gone, and more importantly, his Sand Setter is gone. So if I can weather... pun not intended until I said that. If I can weather the next couple turns, Excadrill is going to be severely limited, because I don't think it's going to be a Scarf variant. I think it's going to be a Sand Force Life Orb variant like he brought last time. So if I can just basically sack off a couple things and scare it out a couple times, I should be good to go. I know it's going to be coming in here because I'm at -2 in speed, defense, and special defense. So it's a free hit for it, pretty much. And as I predicted, it comes in here. So even though I expected Scarf Vaporeon to do a little bit more here, I decided to sack it off and try to scout if it's Life Orb. I kind of forgot I was at exactly 12%, so I ended up dying right on switch in. But the fact that he went for EQ there shows that he's either banded or Life Orb, I guess. Don't think that he would bring a Scarf variant, so I just decided to go into Breloom here because a Mach Punch is guaranteed to OHKO. I could have tried to predict something else coming in, but honestly, Mach Punch hit pretty much everything coming in for decent damage. So I just decided to go for it anyway. He made a really... I kind of want to talk about this switch because this actually severely helped me, and I don't think he meant for it to happen like this. But he brought in Zardwai to sack it off, which, in theory was a good switch, but because he brought Zardwai in and got the sun up, that meant that I didn't have to worry about sand at all for the rest of the game, which severely limited his Excadrill and basically just ended up sacking off his Zardwai for no real reason, in my opinion. Zardwai was pretty much going to go down at some point anyway, but I would have thought that it would have been better to try to pivot back into Excadrill and try to take advantage of sand a little bit more, just because Excadrill does do a ridiculous amount of damage to my team. Sorry, I just noticed that Victini was faded on my team instead of Vaporeon. I guess that's what I get for having them next to each other. So I don't really know why he brought Zardwai in, I guess. I get that he was trying to sack it, but he kind of neutralized his Excadrill in the process. So he goes back into Ditto. If you watch my team builder, you'll know that I predicted him switching into Ditto on my Breloom pretty often. I still have my switch, which is Lilo the Dusclops, and he goes for Bullet Seed. 3, 4, and 5. It wouldn't have really mattered if I lived. It would have just kind of burned another turn of Sun, I guess, but Sun's not really doing very much right now, so it wouldn't have really mattered. So for the sake of things, I guess I'm kind of glad that he just went ahead and got the 5 seed. Now that I know that he's Scarfed, obviously he's Scarfed, but now that I know that he's Scarfed into Bullet Seed, I can go into Victini pretty freely and get another V-Crate off. This time it's in the sun, so anything that would have possibly lived before is not living anymore. He makes a good sack of sacking Excadrill, because like I said, it's not doing anything for the rest of the game. Switches into Ditto here to copy my Victini here. And it's at this point I have to start being a little bit more creative with what I'm trying to sack here. I realize that I'm winning this game with Victini and Breloom, like there's no doubt about it. I still have the dream of an agility pass into Victini alive if I can get rid of Ditto at some point, because I can pretty much just be great sweep from there. Like I'll just be too fast out and outspeed everything. So I realized that Nidoking is probably the least useful member to me at this point. And if I let it drop, I can go ahead and switch. I'll just let this happen first. So I obviously just get destroyed because Sun boosted V-Create is devastating. Switch back into Victini here to do the same thing pretty much. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of all of these as I'm going and I'm not doing a great job. So now that he's slower than me from the 0.5 boost, I'm just going to go ahead and spam that. I did this wrong anyway. Because I wanted to get Nidoking off of here. Okay, so this should be right. So I'm back down to -1, -1, -1. Sunlight fades finally. He goes into Ditto and copies this. And I'm trying to calc to figure out how I'm actually going to win this game, because at this point it kind of just seems like we're trading Mons, and while I have the advantage, technically it's not looking super great. So after doing some speed calcs and stuff, I realized that he's basically a Scarf Victini at this point, with 45 base HP. So I was able to calculate against my own Vash set, which is kind of cool, and realized that if I went ahead and just sacked Victini here, let him get the speed drop, Victini dies, and I go into Breloom, because I'm Scarfed, I'll be able to outspeed and OHKO with the drops that I got from my own V-Create as well as the V-Create that he used to kill me. So that was a really complicated way of saying that I basically used his own Ditto against him, which is what I was trying to do all battle. So it's kind of cool that I was able to pull that off, I guess. I could have gone for a Rock Tomb here, but I predicted a Will-O-Wisp just to try to burn and stall out and have any chance of winning, I guess. Clamps is useless at this point, so I just kind of stay in here and spam moves until it dies. I don't want a Baton Pass because I don't want to give this thing any possible chance of coming back. So I just want a clean switch. I show off Reversal there because why not? Hydro Pump missed again, but not really a big deal. And here I go into Breloom, and there's not really a huge choice for me to make here because Bullet Seed is, I believe, even with a 2-hit, it's a guaranteed kill. I could have went for Force Palm here, I think, in OHKO too, but I went for Bullet Seed. It crit because I had a lot of luck this game. And I ended up pulling off the upset and getting the 1-0 win. First of all, great game to doudsy. Great season. Very scary team. This team build took me longer than I think any other team build to conceptualize. I'm really glad that I was able to pull out an unconventional team that actually worked. I can safely say that this was the most confident I've been in a team build in a really long time, which is a kind of cool feeling despite going into the playoffs on kind of a sour note in my opinion. Sorry. It was kind of cool to see Victini finally get 3 kills, because honestly I don't feel like I used it super great this season. Like there were a couple of games where it came and did some stuff, and that was kind of cool, but it didn't really do as much as I thought it was going to do with my first round pick, if I'm being completely honest, until this game where it just ended up shredding stuff and literally saving my season, so that was worth it. Psilocybin here also picking up 3 kills was pretty cool. I haven't really brought it to a game and had it like dominate in a while either, so that was kind of nice. Next week we are going into the semifinals against the winner of the game between the Detroit Darkrai's and the Aston Charizards. We did pretty well against the Darkrai's the last time we played them, and we got our asses kicked by the Charizards the last time we played them, so you could probably guess who I'm rooting for in that game. But I will give a little update video when that game is up, so you guys know what to look forward to. Until then, please leave a like if you like this battle. Drop any set suggestions down in the comments below. I really like interacting with you guys. It doesn't happen super often, to be honest, but when it does, it's pretty cool. So I will see you guys later. Bye.